The movement of people, animals, and goods from one place to another is called transport. In this topic, we will learn about the history of transport and how people and goods are transported. Before the invention of the wheel, movement was slow and most communities were isolated from each other. People then did not have the tools or knowledge to invent the wheel, build boats, or domesticate animals. The invention of the wheel about 5,500 years ago was the first major development in transport. The wheel inspired the building of carts, and now goods and people could be transported with lesser effort. The earlier people also learned to build boats, and this helped them to explore rivers. As people can now travel greater distances, it helped them to establish new settlements. River transport also helped establish trade between communities. About 3,500 years ago, horses were domesticated, and so movement across land became faster and easier. The invention of the steam engine in the mid-1700s changed transport dramatically. It led to the construction of steam-powered ships and trains. Motor vehicles were invented in the 1800s, and airplanes took to the skies in the early 1900s. Later on, satellites were launched into space. This helped in the transport of information around the globe. People and goods now can be transported around the world very easily. People move around the world for three main reasons: tourism, migration, and work. Tourism is a major part of transport. Transport. People travel to different places in the world for sightseeing, education, and for recreation. As technology made aircraft faster, cheaper, and more efficient, more and more people could afford to travel by air without being away for too long. Other modes of transport for tourism are rail, Road 77, and water. Earlier, migration was a very slow process as there were no faster mode of transport. Nowadays, if someone has the legal permission and the means to travel to another country, they can make the journey in a matter of few hours. Transportation is one of the main occupations itself. Cargo ships need captains, crew, and people to load and unload cargo. Airplanes need pilots and cabin crew. Trucks, vans, and cars need drivers. At any moment in time, billions of dollars worth of goods are being carried around the world by ships, aircraft, trucks, and trains. Ships transport the bulk of goods around the world. Transport of goods by ship is cheaper than by air because ships can transport far greater volumes of goods at a time than airplanes. The airline sector alone carries goods worth about $2 trillion each year. An advantage of transporting goods by air rather than sea, despite the greater cost, is speed. International trade by road and rail can only take place between countries that are linked by land. The ancient Silk Route provided a vast network of trade routes to many Asian countries.